Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to Gav Goes In. So, yeah, we're going to carry on with our greats of the game. There's quite a few out, and make sure, guys, you are viewing that. So greats of the game is a lot of the past players, which is why it's called greats of the game. So, yeah, it's just me just talking, probably about 5 or 10 minutes on the influence that they gave me growing up, what I viewed, how good they were, and yeah, man, it's good to talk about these players because I think a lot of these greats of the game, I think there's some fans out there that might have forgotten about them, you know. So what I do, I just go through, some of the stats. I go through, obviously for defenders, etc. It's going to be different because we're not really judging them on that. So it's more going to be for the attackers, and the midfielders as such. But yeah, make sure you guys go and check that out. There's a few players that I've done, and obviously there's a long list for me to work on to as well. So yeah, we are gonna go through a player for me that I think probably is probably still regarded as the best right back to play the game. For me, I've got a few that I do rate highly. But yeah, I think, it's no surprise that this is a player that, a lot of fans, if you're from that era from before, I think there's a lot of fans that will definitely say that this is definitely one of the best right backs of all time. Obviously, I spoke about, a compatriot, who I think is the best left back of all time. So we're going to go the other side now. And that is going to be none other than Cafu. Just going to go through Cafu's numbers and then going to talk about the player himself. So Cafu, 700 appearances, 49 goals, 78 assists. That's his whole career, by the way, yeah? And then for AC Milan, 119 appearances. For Roma, 163 appearances. Sao Paulo, 216 appearances. Palmeiras, 41 appearances. Zaragoza, 16 appearances. And I think Juventude, where he started his career in Brazil, 2 appearances. So team honours, 1 Champions League. That was with AC Milan. I remember watching that final, funny enough, against... was it against Juventus? I believe it might have been. Can't remember. Then the 1 Club World Cup, 2 Super Cups, 2 Serie A's, 2 Supercoppa Italias, 1 UEFA Cup, 2 Copa Libertadores, 2 Intercontinental Cups, 2 Copa Sudamericanas, 1 Brazilian League, 2 Brazil Cups, and 1 Supercopa. I think it's Libertad, which is obviously Brazilian Cup. And again, a list of honours, man, there's crazy. 21 honours. And obviously with Brazil, 2 World Cups, 2 Copa Americas, and then 1 Confederations Cup, and 142 appearances for Brazil. And, the thing with me with Cafu, yeah, I think, imagine him in this era of football right now, as a marauding right back. I think the way right backs are now, I look at someone like a Hakimi. I think I'd liken him to a Hakimi. Pace, stamina, up and down the pitch. Obviously he was very technical as well. I remember there's a clip that was going around from before, if anyone remembers, of Cafu, I believe, chipping it over. I think it was Pavel Nedved, funny enough, when he was at Roma, just chipping it over his head. I think he done it a couple of times. And Brazil do produce, man, some top-class fullbacks in general. Cafu, Dani Alves, Marcelo, Maicon, another one I forgot about, that's on my list as well. Roberto Carlos. I mean, fullbacks, man, they don't miss when it comes to fullbacks, Brazil. And again, when we're looking at the best all-time right backs for Brazil, you've got him, Dani Alves, and Maicon, and that is 3 top quality fullbacks. But I think a lot of people would say Cafu. As I said, up and down, stamina, very intelligent on the pitch as well. And for me, yeah, just someone that just oozed class, man. Highly competent right back, and again, he was a mainstay in that Brazil team for years. You think of him and Roberto Carlos were the best pairing of fullbacks in world football, you know. And yeah, what a player he was. And I look at, as I say, I think the closest kind of right back to him in world football right now, I would say Hakimi. I think Reece James, again, I think they're not really comparable in the sense where Cafu wasn't someone that could spray balls. I mean, he probably could, but that wasn't his game. It was up and down, marauding down that right wing. Whereas Reece James, for me, is a bit more technical from the passing side of it, Whereas Hakimi, as I said, Hakimi's a pure athlete, up and down that pitch. And I think Cafu is very much similar to that, So, yeah, that's what I would say, man. But definitely for me, one of the best right backs of all time. People will say the best right back of all time. It's up for debate. But yeah, man, what a player he was, and again, the honours just prove how good he was. So, yeah, big up to Cafu, man. Guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Cafu's the best right back of all time, or do you think there's other fullbacks that could rival him? Maybe there's obviously other Brazilian right backs that you might prefer. There is one for me. But yeah, let me know what you think. Smash the like button, sub to the channel. Make sure you share the channel as well. And yeah, give me your comments, guys, and tell me what you think. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.